Good morning, well women. It is Amanda and Julia again. Happy Friday. And we are going to chat together today about the question I had in my mind and that I hear from so many people is, but when I gain weight, if you change your exercise after 40, because I think that when you start listening and you're on the Well Women's community, some of you even came here and said, I'm here to hear about easier exercise or more efficient exercise, more effective exercise after 40. And then I say, well, it's going to sound probably like less cardio and more weight training. Like that's what you're going to hear me say, because that was what I experienced. And then I did my research and learned some of the why behind it. And we have Julia here to talk to us about it too today. And so many of us kind of I can just feel from you. I had the same reaction. Go, but when I gain weight, I mean, isn't the reason I've lost weight all this cardio I've done all these years? And my thinking, I said to myself, because I asked that when I joined the Faster Way to Fat Loss 3 years ago, I was a lifetime cardio person. Like I had been going to cardio classes since I was a kid because my mom was a cardio queen. Like leg warmers, shiny outfits, Jane Fonda tapes, all of that stuff. And that was like just what you did. It was like practically a hobby. And so when I joined the Faster Way and they're like, oh, we're only going to do 2 days of cardio and it's going to be only 30 minutes a session, I thought for sure I was going to gain weight. I had all this free time from not always going to the gym and spending an hour and a half in a cardio class. But I got huge results from that shift. And that is still happening for me today. And that is what I think is so interesting, why this is worth talking about, because even now I'm still shifting out a little bit of cardio and learning more and more about it and working with Julia. So that's why I thought maybe I could ask her some of my questions today. If you all have questions about exercise after 40, hop in, ask your questions, and we can just expand our minds so that we can keep getting better and better. So again, let you introduce yourself, Julia, in case people haven't caught our Friday streams together yet and they don't know you.
Yes. Hi, I am Julia and I own Be Well Fitness. I work with women over 40, just helping them shift their mindset from cardio to strength training, if they do too much cardio, really. But also just use movement and strength training to help them change the body, like maybe a little bit more functionally, since that's what I've been focusing more primarily. And what I mean by functionally, it's perhaps prepare them for the activities they want to do again in their life after they kind of got into that phase of the empty nesting and they used to be active, or they used to hike or maybe even run. So that's where we train for the activity using the strength training and the movement. And also throughout this process, I always start with an assessment and I evaluate like their postural alignment, also their movement capabilities, like what they're capable of range of motion. And then from that, just kind of build the training based on bringing those kind of missing pieces into their body, into their movement. And as those pieces fill in the places, then a lot of times they report perhaps they have like less tension in whatever tension they used to have, or they feel stronger, or they feel maybe like less pain sometimes as well. Even though I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not really treating pain. Again, I'm just coming from the movement and kind of postural alignment perspective. Because sometimes when we spend too much time in one position, it could generate that overtension, over-tightness that could create some sort of a sensation of pain. And by creating the opposite effect, you might just kind of pull yourself out of that pain. And then holding yourself there kind of like helps to build those muscles on the other side to help you get like the other side of the world. So basically, it's a journey. And just like every journey, if you know where you are and kind of know where you want to be, then there are different maps that you can use.
Yeah.
And perhaps for our talk today, we can also look at it from this perspective, because it's not really right or wrong necessarily, or kind of black and white. And I don't want women to think like cardio is bad and you shouldn't do cardio. But I just think that in a fitness world, it's overly emphasized, just because I really think that it's probably because it's a men's world. And it's been kind of created that women should be skinny, which, like, really, what is skinny? How can you define skinny? And can you be healthy and skinny? Can you be fit and skinny? Can you be strong and skinny? Well, yes and no. Right? I mean, what is skinny is a standard for, right?
Right.
How do we measure skinny? And what was considered skinny maybe in the 19th century, skinny here, it's like different thing, but how do you measure that? So that's why I think we talked about it before as well. So if you open up the women's fitness magazine, you will hear the words skinny and toned, and you never see the word bulk. I mean, yeah, obviously there is like some dumbbells nowadays as well in those magazines. But I think it's just like that image that the woman is supposed to be like this shape and side and looking a certain way. We have that image in our head, thinking like, yeah, that's what I need to be. And when you read those magazines or talk to those women, what do? They do a lot of cardio. And then they also eat less, because it's always like that low calorie diet or whatever, low fat or whatever low it is. And there's a lot of it out there. And of course, like, we pay attention. Like I used to pay attention as well, unintentionally.
Right.
I was kind of doing some of those things,
Right.
but it just happened to be like I hate cardio. So I was like, I'll just go for a walk, like long walk or hike or whatever. But like, I don't like cardio. I mean, I like Zumba. And I used to do a lot of Zumba, but only if I had like good music and good teacher, and it's hard to find. So I wasn't doing it a lot. But a lot of those Zumba teachers that I was encountering with, they had hip issue, and like some actually had to do hip surgery. Like I know at least one. They also had like back issue and things like that. And some of them were pretty skinny girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm just gonna stop here, and yeah, let's see if we kind of make a dialogue here.
Well, I'm going to steal the biggest question that was mine and that I hear from so many women, just as a place to start. So, and I think if you're in Macros 101 with us and you've listened a little, you kind of are starting to know this answer. But I definitely was asking myself, like, is this true that you really, because this is where I was then, and now I'm in a different place. Is it true that you could really use weights, heavy weights, lifting heavy weights for fat loss? Because I thought all we grew up learning was you just do cardio for a fat loss. Then I came to the fast one and they said, well, you know what? Actually, all that cardio could be working against you after 40 because of the impact it has on your hormones. And as an alternative, you know what you could do is you could learn to lift heavier weights, and that can also be used for fat burning. Now, I get that now we're in a different place where I understand, like, I love lifting weights now, and there's so much more to it than just burning fat and changing how I look. But I have a feeling so many of us are still in that place of being okay with letting go of all the cardio and shifting our mindset to even trying strength training and it's just hard to believe that that's true. So what is your experience like that? As working with women over 40, do you see people use less cardio, they use strength training, and they do change their body composition, they are burning fat?
Well, I've done a lot of different trainings and shifts in my career as a fitness wellness coach. And I used to have teachers who were very rigid, and I became rigid. It's going to be this way or highway. So I've done that before, guilty of that. So I learned, transitioned, stepped in a different identity. got different teachers. So that's why I try not to come from the perspective like, again, no cardio, just like do strength training. So I think I'm more on board with Amber's customize what works for you. And also, if you've never done strength training, and just also kind of like there is a whole talk we can do, like what is heavy, right? And with women, so who've never done strength training and come from the cardio world and always done like 5-pound weight kind of thing.
Right.
So when I tell them like, okay, so you're ready to load your muscles, and especially like lower body muscles, the glutes, the legs, like they're designed to lift more. And when I go to the gym and I see like this, pretty like, okay, younger girls doing kettlebell swings with like 20-pound weight, I'm like, that's a waste of time. So like, right. So what is heavy? So, but to answer your question, so yeah, like I don't have like specific research references because I haven't really like researched the cardio over 40, but just talking about from sort of a sensible perspective, I guess. Again, it's a map. And if you love cardio, but you're also ready to add, like you did in your journey, transition to strength training. So like, again, so if I am your coach, I'm going to ask you like, okay, what do you like? And you're like, I love, like yesterday I was talking to the lady, my client, and she is like, yeah, but I love cardio. Like, okay, well, tell me why. So give me the reasons. And basically the reasons she told me was just like, oh, I love how I feel after that because it boosts my mood when I'm like coming from work and I like depressed or whatever. And I feel like, okay, but guess what? The same benefits you can get from lifting weights, especially if you do the right way and you add the right stimulus. And this is where women basically fail because they stay in that low range of everything and strength training. So which basically that stimulus does not get to that adaptation level where you get the same benefits like the cardio because you're like, oh, I can go faster or whatever. But here you have to like go heavier and your heart rate is going to go up.
Right.
And then try to do it for so many times. And this is like more of an endurance training. Or again, can you add more ballistic movement plus carrying weight? Like if you're going to go into like lunge and you're going to walk plus carry like 50 pounds on you, plus like do, some other, again, depends on how much you prepared. So like, and you actually use your muscles more efficiently. I guess let me put it this way. So if you love cardio, do it. However, how much do you do it? Because like I see women who do cardio every 7 days a week. It's like, again, too much is too much.
Right.
Like,
Well,
just like we know, we don't want to increase more or like eat less to get results or to add more cardio to get results.
Right.
Yeah, I think you wanted to say something and then I'm gonna,
That goes I'm so glad you said that because I think we're brainwashed to think, okay, we hit 40, we start to see it's harder to lose weight. We're getting belly fat. Nothing we used to do works anymore. And so our first thought is, I need to exercise harder. I need to do more cardio. And then we get to what you're just saying, where all of a sudden that's all you're doing 7 days a week. That is exactly what I did. I started gaining weight and I said, well, I just add on a Saturday workout.
Yeah.
And then I'll just add on a Sunday workout.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, in hindsight, I say, wow, that was really out of balance, but that's all I knew. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what most women are. This is what they know. And they're very intimidated. And like, I was one of those women too, and afraid and intimidated when you go into that, like, weightlifting room where the guys are. Like when I started to go there, I would be like, okay, nobody's here. I'm just going to try to do something. So, because like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to just try to do something while nobody's watching. So like that factor is obviously there, but I wanted to actually kind of lead to what you said, and also over 40. So the cardio, it's basically like we're already stressed in life, not because we have like difficult life. No, it's just like our attitude and how much we need to do and whatever, even though like everything's just push the button and do it, right? So, and then we're like so in that stress mode, and then we're gonna go into the cardio and just like add another like stress mode, plus like pound our whole body that is already weak. Like if you've been sitting and then you go and do Zumba for an hour, pounding on that hard floor, no matter what kind of shoes you have, and your body is not as strong enough to actually absorb the impact. And also what happens, women over 40, strength training or not, they don't train that ballistic movement.
Right.
They think, oh, women over 40, we're not supposed to jump. Yep. No, we are. But you have to get strong first. You have to prepare all those joints to absorb the effect, because that's where we're going to be. We're still humans who are going vertical against the gravity. So, and if you want to be active, walking, hiking, jumping, running, playing with grandkids, like this is where the power of strength training comes. When you have strong body, strong muscles, strong joint, you're way more prepared to do those crazy cardio activities. So because, and again, if you're training, so like another distinguishing reason we want to make probably here, and Amber talks about it, it's, oh, I just did my workout. All right. So like workout and training for specific something are two different things.
Yeah. That's such a
so
cool
like, yeah, I can do my workout. Oh, I just did that check off. Like, yeah, okay, now I can go and eat my 500 calories or whatever. Right. But training, so that's why like I always ask, like, well, what's our goal? So, and if we're training for hiking, then we're going to be training for hiking specifics. So, and that might be, yes, a lot more focus on lower body and endurance training than cardio or upper body as much, right? Or whatever the goals might be. So that's why it's also important to consider. Or like if, yeah, I want to do Zumba for the rest of my life. Like, okay, then I know you want to do that. Let's train our strength. Again, use the strength to train so that you are much more prepared to absorb the impact.
Yeah. Yep.
And of course, cardio and strength training has way more benefits in strength training just because of the bone density. And it's already a fact. There is like a ton of research out there that confirms, shows, gives statistics that bone density and strength training is your friend.
Right.
And if you want to get off those pills or prepare you, like especially in that osteopenia kind of moment, that's when you have to like dedicate your time to strength training. But again, it has to be progressive, because the research shows many times comparing men and women, and where women fail is they don't add weight.
Right.
And if you don't add weight and keep going to the gym and lifting the same thing, you're wasting your time. Because just like with nutrition, as we know, because you talk about it and Amber talks about it, we have that metabolic adaptation. That's why we're going reverse dieting, right? Because if we've been eating 1,500 calories, by eating less, you're going to die. Right. It's not gonna make it. So that's why we have to like almost make that loop to go back and kind of start again and train. So I might be like going off, but just to summarize, I think that we are already too stressed.
Yes.
And then just going for more cardio, and like especially you mentioned that belly fat, like that's a good indication that if you are pretty like okay everywhere else and you have belly fat, then most likely you will benefit way more from a leisurely walk that kind of just comes down your system, because that's what we underestimate, the recovery process. That's why it's like, yeah, I had the 7th day. No, rest. So because that's where actually the muscle, like if we're going about strength training, so this is actually where the muscle grows and adapts during that recovery period, not just by adding another. Plus, if you're adding another strength training right after, like you did your Tuesday, you're doing your Wednesday, that means you did not create that adaptation. You didn't cause that, because you should be a little bit sore. Not that you have to, no. It's not like a, thing to go for. But you should be a little sore and you have to give that recovery time. So this is where like moderate activities like leisurely walk, maybe hiking, I don't know, maybe cleaning the house, something is going to be a friend. Then also like, cardio versus strength training. Again, like I tell women, okay, if you have like a lot of time in your hands, you can do cardio, you can do strength training, but usually you don't have that much time. It's like, where would I put my priorities?
Right.
I have way more benefits in strength training than I have in the cardio. And again, if we put our priorities, we want to be strong to do cardio. We want to be strong to do yoga. We want to be strong to hike. We want to be strong to walk. We want to be strong to clean the house. So it's like strength is the foundation. And in our world, strength training especially is not really a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. It's like, I call it compound investment.
Yeah.
Just like you're investing in your retirement,
Yeah.
you don't see the money right now, but if you stop contributing, guess what? So the same thing with strength training. You might not see the results right now because it doesn't give you that. But again, it depends on how you train. So like if I go for my 90-minute strength training session, I am like all, drained in sweat. And I like do a little bit of active movements there. But I try to lift heavy, and that requires like, your heart rate to go up because my body has to push. So, so anyway, for priority's sake, you don't have a butler and all of that. So I would put my money into strength training. And again, just keep that in mind. It has that compound effect. Like think about retirement. You may not get it like right now, but you will. You're going to feel good. Your body's going to feel good. Your body's going to feel strong, and strength is empowering. And also, I believe and maybe we're just going to go for that next, but I'm just going to stop here, see what you have to say.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I love that you brought up the point of more cardio and the connection to belly fat and stress. And I'll point that out really quick, just because having been at 43 really impacted by hormone imbalance and I didn't know it. And then going to a hormone specialist, I learned the science side of that. And my hormone specialist did say, oh, well, how good that you've stumbled into figuring out that what your hormones needed in your situation was actually to do less cardio, because your body perceives that as you being in stress and fight or flight. And when you're in that stress, fight or flight place, your body pumps out more cortisol hormone, which tells your body to hold on to body fat. Mm-hmm. So how great was it that you switched out of some of the cardio and are doing strength training, because strength training pumps out the calm down, we're all good hormones that let you burn body fat. And that blew my mind. I kind of found I was like, could this be true? But then, done the research and read lots of books. It's true. It's just science. It's amazing. So I love that you brought that up, because I do know a lot of women in this community, just talking to a few of them yesterday, who are being more and more told, they go to the doctor and they're being told you have adrenal fatigue.
Yes.
And that's all. Those adrenal glands release hormones. Our glands are where the hormones are coming from all over the body. Those ladies with the adrenal fatigue, this is telling, are often told by their naturopathic physician or whoever has helped them with that diagnosis. Keep moving your body, do what you love, but what would really help you in your recovery is some strength training that doesn't get your heart rate too high, as opposed to cardio that raises your heart rate and increases your cortisol. That's going to kind of work against you. So it's just so amazing that we're so taught to cardio for all wellness. It's the solution to everything. But it turns out, unless you're, using it mindfully, and like you said, thinking of balance, then cardio works against you after 40 if you're overdoing it and it's all you've got. It's the only tool you have in your back pocket. And how amazing is it that switching in a little bit of the strength training can be such an investment in your wellness for the future. That's where I'm at now, is that I used to just want to work out just because you're supposed to, it was like a hobby or something. Mm-hmm. And now I see, I can actually be training, so I can have goals in mind, but I'm not one who wants to train for a marathon or anything. For me, I see my goals are to be fabulous after 40, and then in my 50s and 60s and 70s, have a great time in menopause, keep my bone strength, avoid cancer and heart disease. That's what I'm training for. So I kind of think of like, I'm training to be better and better every day. That's my goal. And I see strength training is like checks every box. It gets me, it has no downside. Like, it gets me to every single one of my training goals for fabulous over 40, whereas cardio doesn't. So I'm so glad that I, just learned that there's more options out there. It really has, and on the body composition side, I'm like, I'm here to testify. It worked like a charm for me to get my balance. Far less cardio, less than an hour a week for sure. And then adding in strength training, which I had never done before, brought my energy up, brought me hormone balance, brought me fat loss, brought me better sleep. And so now I'm at this point where I'm thinking of doing even less cardio. And so I've kind of leaned into Julia, because I'm scared. Again, for all my preaching about do less cardio after 40, I'm still feeling in the back of my mind but aren't I going to gain weight? Because here's where I'm at, you all. I think in July, I overdid my hip flexor because of things that I didn't know yet about alignment. And it's to the point where I'm working with Julia. She's helping me out. I've changed my strength training workouts, getting better and better. But then I was still holding on to doing high intensity interval training on Monday and Tuesday. And my hip flexor after those workouts was just like, could you please stop? This is ridiculous. I'm in so much pain. So I kind of said to Julia, all right, so I think maybe what I need to do is switch up the HIIT. But I'm just worried, won't I gain weight again? So luckily I had Julia to lean on and, get good suggestions from about how to shift my work now. So I'll be able to, be here testifying to you guys. How does it go to be doing even less cardio? And I am learning in Biceps After Babies, their course called Build Your Workouts. I'm learning a little bit there about the idea that Julia kind of touched on, where when you're in a fat loss place, that might be where you layer on more cardio. But when you're in a reverse diet and then maintenance, which is where I am at with my food, my fuel, you're cool to take out some cardio and really lean more into strength training and keep your body composition. So that is where I am at. I don't know that I necessarily have a big question about it, but.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
This is interesting. The past, I definitely, everything everyone's telling me is the truth, is working. My scale weight keeps going down. It has not gone up with the workout changes made. Yeah,
use your data.
Yeah, I haven't shared my results yet at the beginning, but I'm like, my scale weight went down. My measurements have gone down again. Even though I'm eating more, I'm 2,000 calories, and I'm taking out cardio and focus on my strength training. And so I've been taking my flexing pictures. I'm like, I don't think I've lost any muscle mass.
Yeah, so that's perfect. You have your data.
Yeah, it's just hard even with, I just feel like I so get it when women are like, it's just really hard to trust that it's true. It is really hard. Even when I see the data, I'm like, but aren't I supposed to be doing some cardio? It's so hard to trust, but it's true.
Well, but again, we don't want to deny cardio. It has its place and its purpose, and it's training our cardiovascular activities.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with that, because yes, you want to sometimes obviously have that faster kind of stuff and still breathe through it, right? But again, if we just go for like, yeah, what is your goal for cardio? Where is your mindset? If you just using because you hear it all the time, you've been doing it for years.
Yes.
Again, our body is designed in the way that it adapts. It has adapted to that cardio, and you are doing it not necessarily for fat loss or whatever.
Right.
You're just doing because maybe you like it, because you're accustomed to, you have routine going on and whatever, but you really have to even change that cardio.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That is such a good point. Like it's just an old thought pattern almost. Like there's no sense behind it, no goal behind it anymore. It is just like just fear of letting go of what I used to do, I guess.
Yeah, so it's probably a fear for sure, because it is, you still hear those things. But again, first of all, nutrition obviously plays a huge role, and you are obviously kind of got a hang of it for sure. So because nutrition is huge, it's paramount in all this journey and your goals and orientation of the stages you want to be in. That's, I think, probably a way more important component than cardio necessarily.
Yeah.
And talking about, again, strength training is so body muscles, they require a lot of fuel. So that's why, like, if you probably ask Amber, like, it would be nice to know, like, what's her calorie intake. She might eat that 3,000 calories.
Yeah.
Just because she likes to lift heavy, she
Yeah.
does CrossFit and whatever, from what we know about her. But that's exactly it. That's why when she talks about the bulk phase, so that's going to be like another mindset shift, right? Especially if you've been eating nothing and then going into that bulk phase, right? Even like reverse is like scary, right? So it's like, oh my God, right? So I've been doing cardio and eating less. Guess where the belly fat goes? Because your body being under so much stress. I mean, you're dealing with your daily stuff, then you're eating less, then you're killing yourself with cardio, and you're like, why am I having belly fat? Well, because you're just like on this on switch and never go off.
Right.
Your body is it's underfueled, it's overworked, it's overstressed.
Yeah.
And then all this fitness industry tell us, do less calories, do more cardio. And then like, yeah, love your husband, be nice to your kids and whatever. And then invest money in your retirement. And then we have all this. That's why Amber thrills on mindset coaching for women, because I think women, we're messed up with all this mindset that is going on, and that's what's been bombarded into us, right?
Yeah.
But if we again talk about muscles, we know, hopefully we know that muscles are metabolically active.
Okay.
That's why more muscles you build,
yeah,
more food you can eat. Yes, build more muscles so that you can justify your calories and get all the other benefits.
When you say like strength training is metabolic activity and muscles are metabolically active, so tell us again what that really means, because I feel like I heard people say that a ton, and I never really was like, those words that had no meaning to me. But what you're saying is, so when we are doing our strength training, we are burning calories now and later, because muscle needs calorie to live.
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. So I don't remember exactly. I think it's like it takes 3. I don't remember the numbers, but basically, I see if I can find it. That's why I was looking for my book that I just got. It's a good book, and I can definitely send you a link. And it has a good title. Where's my book?
Probably mine's always by my bed because I'm always trying to read before bed and then I fall asleep.
Yeah, but this is like it's a yeah, I don't know. I guess I took it downstairs something. But anyway, so I mean, in a nutshell, what it means, it requires more calories to maintain the muscle
Okay.
than to maintain the fat. So that's why, and when we are talking about strength training, that's where again that distinguishing moment is, because if I'm like, if you ask a woman, okay, so like in general, okay, oh yeah, I go to the gym, I lift weights. Oh, okay. But then when you really start digging, it's like, oh, no, like if I say, okay, do you do deadlifts? Yeah, I do deadlifts, like it's the hip hinge, right? Like, oh, okay, then how much do you lift? Oh, like, 20 pounds maybe. Ah, so you actually strength train. What's your goal? Oh, to be stronger. Well, if you're doing deadlifts, 20 pounds are not going to make you stronger. So that's what we need to distinguish. So like, yeah, I can go to the gym. It's like, oh, okay, I'm lifting weights. I'm building muscles. No, that's why like Amber talks about that bulking phase, and building muscles is going to take way longer time, way more commitment, way more dedication, way more commitment to that nutrition and stuff. It's a huge art, like really building the muscle. So, and obviously, yeah, like shedding fat and whatever, like really getting stronger.
Right.
And I think she talks about that in like earlier episodes when she talks about six packs. So I just listened to it, and she made that good distinguishing point that she got her six pack to show off, and she went into a cut. But then, and she talks about that there. It's kind of interesting. But then what she did, she went into bulk and did not do any like ab exercises, nothing. So she just lifted heavy, did whatever she did, CrossFit, whatever. And then it took her a while. And her muscles are actually in her abs got way stronger, more defined, and like more visible throughout the day than just doing the cut, shedding the off. And basically she talks about that. That's why how she distinguishes it like bulk. It's the kind of that strength phase. And also you're specifically dedicating your training to building muscles like in this relatively probably boring way, because you have to kind of do the same thing and increasing weight. Like, and it's not going to be like you're increasing weight every week. No, like in the beginning, depends on where you're coming from, but stronger you become, longer it's going to take for you to increase the weight to go for more. So that's why you have to have other variables, maybe increase your set, maybe increase your reps, maybe increase, instead of barbell, you can do pulleys or whatever.
Right.
So that maybe in a month, you might increase by whatever, half a pound or a pound to lift weights. So that's why there is that, I think, very big distinguishing points. Like, yes, if you've always been doing cardio and you start doing some strength training and lifting weights, you get those newbie beginner benefits, especially if you're backing that up with nutrition, like really doing that good combo. So then, yes, it's not going to take you long, because again, you're creating a new stimulus for your body. You haven't done strength training before, you only did cardio, now you get your nutrition, now you add the strength training, boom, 6 months or whatever, you're like, whoa, that's awesome. But then there is that plateau, right? So that's why you have to, again, because you adapted, because our body is amazing with our ability to adapt to what we do and what we don't do. Like you sit on the couch all the time, it adapts. So great. But then that's why you create the stimulus. But with strength training, there are so many varieties that you can pull from. Like you can create this map, create this map, create this map, create this map. And it's like, oh, I'm going to just try to do this journey for a while. Just like we do with the cut. Okay, I'm going to go on the cut for 6 weeks, whatever. You can do the same thing. Like I'm going to do this training plan for 6 weeks and see how it goes. see like what adaptation. And again, this is where the data comes into a huge play. And that's the difference, because like, yeah, if women go and just like, oh, I lift weights. Okay, well, how many did you lift yesterday? Oh, how many like a month ago? Oh, I don't know. But again, where's your data? And that's again, that distinguish workout or strength training for some specific reason.
Yes.
And that's where you have to like keep a track. So like have to have either Excel spreadsheet, paper, whatever app. And you have to like say, oh, okay, I've done like 4 sets of 60 pounds now for 3 weeks. Like, I think I'm ready to go for more. You try it out, test it out, and then you're progressively loading your body, creating that new stimulus, new adaptation, and changing your workout, your training plan relatively like 6-8 weeks, depends, I mean, what your goal is and whatever, so that you are adding that stimulus. Because stronger you are, more experienced you are, harder it's going to be, more things you need to play with, more variables, more maps, just like she teaches us in our program. So you just have to pull from different points. So yeah, I don't know if it makes sense.
My takeaway from that is that's all awesome news for anyone who wants to start after 40. Like, in my opinion, it's all like, this is such a good time to start with all of these things, because you're going to feel this great momentum when you start. Because like you were saying about, it's going to be all new stimulus to your body. So your body's going to show you a lot of nice adaptations, like fat loss, and you're going to see some muscles, because you've never done it all before. So it's the perfect time to start after 40. And there's so many side benefits that are probably even the better benefits of like, and by the way, you're not just seeing some muscles and burning fat again, which is what we all come here to think we want at first. Like, we want our energy back and we want our body back, right? But then you're going to get like these great benefits of preventing osteoporosis and increasing your metabolism and being able to be active all the rest of your life. And then we know from what you're saying then is like, okay, so we're going to get going. We're going to have all this great momentum. And then how cool is it to think we don't have to give up if we hit a plateau. It is not that it's too late for us. It is not that this just is how it is in your 40s, 50s, menopause. That's not true. Instead, it's just that your body's gotten so strong, adapted so well, that now you're going to need a new approach to let it like be challenged in a new way, so it can give you some good adaptation that you like again. And there's tons of different approaches out there. Yeah. There's so many cool different new things you can do with your strength training. It's never going to need to get boring. And that's why I have some women I've gotten to work with who are in their 60s and 70s, and they are teaching other women to lift at the gym. They're teaching lifting heavy with good form. And I'm like, how cool is that? Like, that's what I want on my horizon, like and they look, I look at their body, I'm like, they're so strong. Their stuff they post on Facebook is like always these amazing adventures. They have so much energy. And so all of that to me is just like, this is all such good news, as opposed to the news that I got when I went to my gynecologist and doctor at 43 and told him how I was feeling. And they're like, oh, it's just how it is in your 40s. Maybe you'll feel better in menopause.
Yeah. Well, and again, our body is designed to move and it's designed to lift. I mean, this is in our DNA. And again, that's why like strength training and actually scheduling some kind of movement practice of whatever kind is, it should be in the regimen, just like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because it's not a luxury for us anymore. It's a necessity in a life where we depend on the car, where we have buttons to push. Like, you actually have to schedule and be like, this is a part of my preventative medicine, hopefully. So because prevention is worth, all the other things that we might be doing. So that's why I think food and exercising, strength training, it should not be where you want to save the money. And that's where sometimes we kind of have that attitude with And especially if like you don't know what you're doing or whatever. So like uh, in my personal journey, so and I come from all those things. So like intentionally or not intentionally, I was brainwashed. So I wasn't really doing strength training, or if I ever like go and take group classes and like lift 5 pound weights or whatever,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, okay, I'm done, check off. And then I did a lot of yoga and I had no strength. So, like, my first yoga experience pretty much showed everything that I couldn't do, which pretty much like none of those poses of down dog, plank, and push up, because like I had elbow pain, wrist pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, everything. So like after a year, I was like done with yoga. I mean, explored other things like mindful benefits. um, so, and then when I started to learn with study with other teachers who opened up the benefits of the strength world. I mean, it took me a while because I'm the person who is like, I'm coming from like safe or like make it right.
Right.
So I would like sit with that thought for like a few years and like study and like understand better and start like to following the people or whatever, like just trying to like start putting in my mindset, because it is a huge mindset shift, especially after like, yeah, because I started my strength training at 43, which is not that long time ago. And I and my mom obviously never did that, and we've always been like, do cardio, eat less, even though I wasn't like intentionally doing it, but it appeared to be I did. So it took me a while to like step into. So I found a local gym where it was like a small gym, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go in a big one or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I found this lady who like an older lady. And she sort of like, opened up a few things for me, even though like she was not my perfect trainer who I would have had, but you get what you have locally. So, and I kind of started doing some things and whatever, figuring out here and there. And then I went to the gym where I'm right now, and there was a guy. And so I asked him to like give me 1 week session. So, and I liked him because he actually opened up the other stage of my strength training journey, because he was into a little bit more compound movements and like introducing to barbell and some other things. And I remember when he brought me to a barbell to do a back squat, and that's where you keep the barbell here and then you're squatting down. And mind you not, I have lots of range of motion and I'm flexible, and I'm like, yeah. So I would get down, I get up. He's like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, not many people can do that. But what he would always tell me, because I have my moment, like he sees me like going, oh my God, like, really? I'm going to do that now? He's like, Julia, you're stronger than you think. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. So, and he would tell me like pretty much every session. So yesterday he told me, it's like, oh, Julie, I was reading this book and there was like different stories. And one of the story was making me think of you. I'm like, yeah, what? He's like, because the story was about you're stronger than you think. So, and basically he helped me transition my mindset to paint the story that I am stronger than I think.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it basically sounded like, I'm stronger than I think.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, I am stronger than I think. And then I'm stronger than I think. I am really stronger than I think. And that basically came with that, oh, I lifted 100 pounds today, still on my back. Wow, that was pretty cool. I am stronger than I think.
Yeah.
And then now I just also kind of hear his voice in my head. To like, if I'm going to like, I'm going to try a little more today. And it goes again from that whole thing like, no, I know better. I can do it. I've been doing it. I'm stronger than I think. I'm just going to do it. And this is basically strength training or lifting heavier weights is really a great mindset training. just like Amber talks about a lot, and you talk as well, that our expectations, right?
Right.
Like, who in the right mind is going to go to the gym, have a barbell or whatever kettlebell in front of you, and expect I'm going to lift this and fail? Do you want to expect that?
Yeah.
Guess what? When you're playing with weights, it might not actually end up well. But if you take this mindset into, like, let's say our biceps after babies, that we're doing the macros 101, think about it, right? If I'm going and I'm expecting, like, there are comments there we have in the circle, right? Ladies say, like, I'm afraid to fail. Like, yeah. Well, but just think about it. If you're at the gym and you have 100 pounds to lift and you're going with an expectation, you're set, you're ready to go, like, shoot, I'm afraid I'm going to fail. But you have 100 pounds in you. You don't want to fail. You want to go through your check of points and make sure your feet in the right position, your hands in the right position, your mind in the right position. And if your mind is not there, hopefully you are sensible and logical enough to say, I'm just going to deload it for today because I just don't feel like I'm stronger than I think today. But that's okay. So then you have your plan B, like, okay, instead of just adding this 20 extra pounds today because I don't feel like I can today, and that's okay. Well, maybe you're going to do an extra set. Maybe you're going to do an extra rep. You're going to still finish as an accomplished and successful person. And perhaps going there, respecting where you are, recognizing where you are, and accepting that. And have another plan B, like another map, right?
Right.
Oh, maybe it got fine. So go and do a little treadmill today. Who knows? It's fine. Like, cardio is not necessarily have to be canceled out. You might just do like a moderate kind of treadmill activity just to help you get into that different metabolic state and say, like, no, I didn't fail. I actually listened to my body, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that is also another great benefit, at least in my opinion, because it has helped me tremendously to build the confidence perhaps that I was missing, and just knowing that, like, I can and I'm stronger than I think. I really try to bring this mindset into my other areas of the life where I am expanding my comfort zone.
Right.
Painful and it's uncomfortable. So, but I try to, like, think like, well, I had the same thing as I was transitioning from that world to this world, and lifting like heavy weights is scary. And yes, I have my limits at the moment. So I was like, oh no, I don't know. I want somebody like to watch me, but that's okay. Like, that's fine. So yeah, I kind of got off tangent, but I'm just saying that if you're scared, it's okay. It's normal. And if you want to try it, so yeah, perhaps in the beginning, it's very important to have a good coach who's going to be with you, like in terms of your mindset, who is only going to push you enough or inspire you enough. And also make sure to prepare you, like, obviously, depending on where the people are. I'm not that coach who would be like, yeah, today we're going to do 10 more pounds. No, if you didn't pass the form test and you still suck at that deadlift, with this 5 pounds, I'm not going to give you any extra 10. I'm going to work with you where, in my mind, you're ready to go for more. And then when your mind is ready, that you feel you're confident enough to increase more.
Right.
So, but this is that precious moment happens. And it's good, like, women who stick around and go through the stages, you can see that whole transition, because first I say, like, yeah, we add a little extra, eyes go up, it's like, no. And then you inspire them and they do well. And it's like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. So it's a really great growth process, which I think is huge, especially after women over 40, because we go into that empty nesting stage. We're kind of confused, we're unclear, like what's our identity, what's whatever.
Right.
And then suddenly you discover this new level of empowerment, new level of strength, and new level like I can do it, and I can actually live for myself now and whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a great psychological tool that is really way cheaper.
I
plus,
agree.
plus way more beneficial because you actually do the work and it shows and you feel the benefits. And obviously all the other benefits that we've talked about come with that. And that's what I think, if you haven't experienced that kind of moment, that kind of mindset transition, I don't believe cardio gives you that. It just kind of wears you out and you feel like drained, but you did something. And it's like, and like you said, there is that stress hormone there. But strength training, again, a progressive overload is way more empowering, at least in my journey. So like I can only talk about obviously myself, and yeah.
Well, that's probably a perfect way for us to wrap up. Like there can be another day when we start with this, is that the mindset benefits of strength training are so surprising. I haven't met one woman over 40 yet who hasn't said something about it. Like if they tried strength training, they get a coach, like they get lifting heavy. It just blows their mind. They love it. And everyone says that, like, it just is such a boost to your confidence because it's a very concrete, physical, right in front of your face way to see yourself having goals, doing the work, making things happen, creating what you want to happen. You have so much control. There's so much empowerment. It's very empowering to your mindset. And then there's all those great physical benefits. So
yeah,
there's just no bad can come from the strength training piece of the puzzle. And maybe that's also a good way to wrap up too, is to say, in hindsight, for me, I would totally agree with you that it's really smart and just such a great way to start to find a trainer. I mean, ideally, I would say that you can meet with, like either one-on-one virtually or one-on-one in person, who will give you this great foundation of your form, knowing that the better form you have, the heavier and heavier you're going to be able to lift. So there's no need to rush into getting the heavy weights at all. That will come so fast when you've got a wonderful trainer helping you understand wonderful form. That's just going to 10 times your results in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be my big takeaway. Like, if you are, just like Julia mentioned, maybe you're getting into the nutrition side of things, you are giving yourself a fresh start after 40, thinking about getting a trainer to talk with you about form for lifting heavy is going to, it's going to increase your results. It is going to empower you. It's going to support you.
Yeah.
It will be a boost on your journey.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Boost your life and you're stronger than you think.
Yeah. And it'll boost your results more than spending $300 on supplements or protein powders or even new exercise clothes, whatever it might be. Like, instead, getting that investment for a month or so with that great trainer. But it just, wow, you are just going to have your mind blown after a month of all the things that it does for you.
Yes. And speaking of protein as well, just to throw that kind of nutritional piece, and I'm going to send you that article that the author of the book wrote. And he actually made a great explanation. I think that'll be really worth sharing in the group. Because he was talking about protein and how protein gets digested through the body. And he basically equated that. I believe he said like it adds like 30 minutes of cardio. just because of how it's digested and the effects that are similar to getting 30 minutes of cardio, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So, but he goes through all like that processing. So I'm going to send you that article, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And that's exactly what our muscles need, more protein. So, and when you eat protein, that's why like there are so many components that go into this. And it's not just cardio and it's not just eating less, but like if we create that broader effect, but also at the same time prioritize what gives us the most at the phase of the journey we are in.
Right.
And again, kind of customize it for like where we are in our level of comfort and how much we're ready to push at this moment. Just putting those components together. And I think that really what creates is the mindset of abundance.
Yeah.
So we don't feel like you're stuck.
Right.
Or you have to do only that thing. So that's why, I mean, like, that's another reason I love strength training, because like so many varieties of to do things. That's why I struggle with hypertrophy, because it's too boring. But I'm like trying to mold it for myself, what works for me a little bit from both worlds, because I'm the person of like, creative and mentally stimulating. and just like doing bicep curls, that's gonna like, it's not gonna last long for me. That's why I have to like create a little bit more. But again, it's me. Like I know that about myself, and it's something that I'm trying to play with. So yeah, anyway, kind of combining this all together. So yeah, nutrition is important. Strength training is giving a lot of benefits. Cardio could be nicely positioned somewhere, but it can be also moderate cardio, like technically going for a quick brisk walk. Yes, it's not gonna like take your heart rate through the roof, but to me, for example, it's important. Like I know I'm doing what I'm doing so that I am able to do that for the rest of my life.
Right.
So that's why I want to remind myself, like I can walk, I walk well, I don't have pain, I can walk longer miles. Like that's what I want to do. So, and to me, that's more important than like doing the treadmill cardio.
Gotcha.
So, like, I would not switch that, even though, yeah, it's higher rate and whatever.
Right.
But like, I don't necessarily want to, like, run around like crazy.
Right.
But I want to be able to go in the woods in my, like, whatever, 80 years old and hike or, walk literally walk around the neighborhood. And that's what I want to remind myself, like, that's what I want to preserve. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Because I also know what it means and feels like to walk with pain or walk when it doesn't feel good or walk when you're out of breath. So, and when you walk and you're just like, yay, I'm human. I'm walking. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the nature and the sunshine and whatever. And yeah, getting my steps in. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that could be our you're stronger than you think could be our takeaway, our wrap up, our mantra to let yourself practice for today and just see where it leads you, and know that if you're feeling that fear of I'm afraid I'll gain weight if I change my exercise after 40, that's probably a good thing, and it's going to lead you to make some new discoveries and just not be stuck and be empowered. Yeah.
Yes, you're stronger than you think. Go with that mindset in mind.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll wrap it up. I know you have work to do, things to do on a Friday. And as always, y'all can just ask questions in the comments. Let us know if there's other topics you want to discuss, and I'll keep listening to what you're saying, and we'll keep talking.
And now go and get strong.
All right, ladies, have a good one.